The Street Ganesha and the Children's Love. Yesterday evening, I was sitting at a small tea stall on the roadside. The air was filled with the smell of fresh samosas, hot tea, and a faint sound of doll beats somewhere nearby. As I sipped my tea, I noticed something across the street that caught my attention. A group of children, no more than 10 or 12 years old, were gathered around a small clay idol of Lord Ganesha. It wasn't the grand, decorated idol you see in big pandals. This one was simple. The clay was a little uneven, the paint was smudged, and the decorations were nothing more than flowers picked from nearby plants and paper chains they had cut themselves. But the way their eyes shined, the way they circled around it with excitement, it was pure devotion. These kids didn't come from wealthy families. Their clothes were worn out, some were barefoot, some had dust on their faces. But the joy they carried in their hearts, that was priceless. I kept watching as they started singing Aarti together. None of them had perfect voices, and they didn't have instruments, but one boy beat an old steel plate with a stick like it was a drum, and the others clapped in rhythm. Their voices echoed in the lane, full of energy and love. And you know what? In that moment, it felt more divine than the grandest Aarti I had ever attended. After the prayers, they didn't have prasad like laddus or modaks. Instead, they shared broken biscuits and small toffees they had all pooled money for. They didn't mind the size, they didn't mind the taste, what mattered was the spirit of sharing. One boy even broke his last piece of biscuit into two and gave half to a younger child standing outside the group. That little act of kindness, that's devotion in its truest form. As I watched, I started thinking. In our lives, we often chase comfort, luxury, and perfection. We decorate idols with gold, we spend thousands on celebrations, but sometimes, the purest prayers are the ones that come from hearts that have nothing yet give everything. One small girl, maybe 8 years old, stood in front of the idol with folded hands and closed eyes. She kept praying for a long time. I was curious, so I gently asked her later, "What did you pray for?" She smiled shyly and said, "I asked Ganesh Ji to help my father get work. If he works, we can buy more flowers for Bappa next year." Her words hit me deeply. While many of us pray for success, money, cars, or phones, this little girl prayed for flowers for her Ganesha. Such innocence. Such selflessness. The kids then began to dance in front of the idol. No DJ, no speakers, no big crowd. Just children laughing, clapping, spinning around barefoot on the dusty street. Their happiness spread to everyone watching, the shopkeepers, the tea stall owner, even people passing by. Some even stopped their bikes and smiled. For a moment, that little lane became the happiest place in the city. I realized something that evening: devotion isn't about grandeur. It's about love. Those children, with no luxuries, no fancy stage, no money, they created an atmosphere that touched my heart in a way no luxury ever could. When I left the tea stall, I looked back one last time. The idol was small, the decoration simple, but the faith, that was bigger than the tallest pandal in the city. And I thought to myself, maybe God smiles the most at these small, pure celebrations. Maybe, in their laughter, in their sharing, in their prayers, lies the essence of what devotion really means.